Taurus, y'all really made me work for this one. So we are going to jump right into your messages. All right, I had pulled some cards, and this was a very hard one to decode. It was a very difficult one to unlock. All right. So please bear with me. But I do have an answer for you. There is some type of encrypted message in this reading that's intended to come out. If you see me laugh or any type of humor in this particular reading, I'm not laughing at anyone or anyone's particular situation. A lot of master teachers, when they work with me, they slip in a little bit of that, what I call the giggles, right? As a way to help me channel and anchor the energy and let it pass through me versus me hold on to it. So that's kind of like what you're gonna see. And I just wanted to give a heads up because I do feel like this is a very touchy situation, but this is a hurricane. All right, and it's going to look different for every single person, but it is happening, and nonetheless it is happening to a lot of in the subconscious realm. All right, the supernatural realm is being utilized during this time to create ripples effects of, there's some severing. Okay, there's splits happening and different things like that. But in this particular situation, as all this is happening, paradigm shifts, transits, alignments, conjunctions, opposites, trines, you name it. Sorry. All of that stuff is happening from above, right? From the supernatural realm. There's also someone that I'm going to refer to these characters as someone. Okay, because if you're able to get the message without attaching an identity to it or a particular person and just receive the energy, you're going to be just fine. Okay, you're going to get through this storm smooth sailing. Okay, so like I was saying, this one was a very slippery little sucker here. Okay, this devil energy, because I do feel like it's something attached to rejection. It's really intended to trigger people that are tired of being rejected, tired of being overlooked, tired of being misunderstood, tired of being done wrong in so many ways. But the way in which this supernatural projection is being sent out to the collective consciousness, the intention is to make you burn bridges. The intention is to make you sabotage yourself, to make you so sick and tired of being tired that you reveal who you are, your original angel energy, whoever you are. This is the moment where they get to get a good synopsis or a good I'm gonna say synopsis. They're gonna get a good look to see how many of them are you, how many out there can see this, can pick up on this, can not fall for it. Okay, because this is a very big illusion or projection that's being casted on a mass scale level, collectively. So if you are asleep, dead, unconscious, right? Whatever intention this parasite gives you, whatever intention this projection places in your subconscious realm, you're going to naturally do it. But if you are awake and if you are aware, you're going to be able to see it, and you're going to be, it's intended to trigger you though. That's what I'm saying. If you can release the identity of who the person is that's being utilized to directly trigger you, you won't fall for it. So the intention after going through this entire process, the intention, I was finally able to crack this one. Okay, the intention is to make you feel like a victim. The intention is for you to want to do something about it. Like, I'm sick and tired of being getting the short end of the stick. I'm sick and tired of feeling like this. It's meant to trigger the rebels. It's meant to trigger the rebels to expose or reveal their ability to be able to see injustice, right? Now, how do they get it to you? How do they draw you out? They draw you out by utilizing the people closest to you, friends, family, foes, right? What they utilize them to do is create a suggestion. The way that they suggest it, it's not an attack, right? If somebody comes to you, this is where knowing yourself is so important. If somebody comes to you and they share something with you, or they offer unsolicited advice, and they say it in a way where it's laced with all these different trigger words that gets you to do something about it. The person that put the loaded the loaded weapon in your hand always was aware that they were sending you to go and do their dirty work. You get what I'm saying? So this intention from this energy is to get you to do their dirty work. And a part of it is either you to sabotage yourself, for you to become afraid of what's on the other side, or for you to fall in line. Either way, it's an attempt to make your life a living hell. It's an attempt to scare you back into some type of shell, to give you a shell shock for a lot of you. But for majority of you, it's about reaction. What type of reaction will you have? So if you're a Taurus and you know you are the type of person that gets very reactive when there's injustice, right? If something gets underneath your skin, this is exactly what this energy wants, right? It wants to live through you. It wants to get you to start trouble. It wants to use you to ruin yourself. It wants you to sacrifice yourself, put yourself back into the negative cycle of sacrificial lamb energy. Put yourself back on the chopping block for a cause, a person, place, or thing, right? Versus you focusing on the positive of living your life and applying all that energy into making the moves that you want to make and doing the things that you want to do. So all of this is about getting you to feel like you're hold on. It's one of those types of intentions that mutates. The first intention starts off being very forward, and then it mutates. So it's already coded with so many different, I call it upselling, right? If you've ever done sales or customer service, you upsell, right? So when a person says no, you continue to upsell until they eventually say yes. So it's designed to continuously run this narrative until you give in, right? So all of this is just beneath the surface. All right. And so for a lot of you, the only way it has to trigger your emotions of rejection. It has to trigger your abandonment wounds. It has to trigger your inner trauma. And so, yes, the closest people next to you will be the ones that are utilized to hurt you the most. And, they may, if they can't get it to you, they may send it through the people, like children close to you. So if you have children or friends or people of close to you, you may notice that they're a little wonky, right? So prioritizing mental health during this time is the utmost priority. During this season, most especially, it's a heat wave. It's a legit heat wave that is going to spread like a virus on a computer, a bug in your subconscious realm that will literally just be like a chain reaction. That's what you're here doing, breaking. You're liberating from these chain reactions that you didn't have no control over. So they're going to get, you may see let's say you have teenagers or young children and stuff like that, and they start to say and do weird stuff, and then you as the adult become triggered, you see, and then that trigger causes you to repeat a pattern of trauma that was done to you. That's what this heat wave is about, because when you feel guilt behind allowing yourself, losing that self-control, or when you feel guilt by not being able to keep something that was taken from you, or you feel like you were rejected and you feel the guilt of feeling as if you wasted your time waiting on someone for it to go nowhere, or the fear of being rejected, all of those intentions are designed to make you dim yourself, is to make you descend and back to a position of healing, back to a hermit mode. And then when you wake up again, the pattern starts all over. I'm also hearing they want you to burn bridges. All right, something about this intention is about you burning bridges, isolating yourself, making other people want to burn bridges with you, or you burn bridges with them. And all of this is about the moment that you feel triggered and you start wanting to expose people and the shit that you see, and things like that. All of that is a lack of self-control. And when that happens, the person that sent out the attention harvests all of your energy, harvests all of your spiritual essence, like Smurfs. It starts to become like your essence goes to the person that sent out the intention to begin with, sent out the chain of events. And this becomes like a superpower. Also, I'm seeing here with this energy of chasing things, chasing stability, chasing security, chasing fame, chasing anything whatsoever. I don't care if you over here chasing a weight goal. Now is not the time to be chasing shit. Now is the time to sit and be still, not from a hermit perspective, but from a Buddha. You need to be a Buddha. Sit on your Buddha. And humor is the greatest thing. Sitting outside, getting in nature, right? No matter what your circumstances look like, be like the Buddha. If you go into nail salons and you pay attention just to the subtle changes that they're even doing, you'll see how as this season they're doing less talking in the rooms, right? They're conserving energies, the conservative space, as this season passes over. There's also, you'll see that they're changing the type of offerings that they're placing on their altars. They're shifting from just fruits and water to more meat. All right. Cooked meat, or something that has already been cooked or roasted into a state of you can't beat a dead horse, right? So the purpose of putting something that's already been killed, that's a level of transmutation, right? That's already been cooked to a certain degree, right? Which talks about the level of heat that it's already experiencing. And so all of that energy, it feasts off of that rather than you. You understand? So there's a lot that's going on supernaturally and spiritually. And there are so many posts that aren't covered. There are so many subconscious realms, homes that are not covered, because they have to work so many hours, or they have to pull so many different shifts, or they are feeling a state of hopelessness. All right. So as I'm saying that, there's like ambulance in the background. The objective is to leave you with nobody, no friends, no family, all in the name of justice, and people trying you. And this about leaving you to a point where you're like, oh, I couldn't trust them anyway, or I couldn't trust that person anyway. When this entire season is over, you're going to be like, what the hell was I mad about? You know what I'm saying? I could have handled that differently. I could have done that differently, or or that creates another level of regret, and you don't have to go through any of it. Okay. So as we're talking about things from a macro level, I feel like I need to ask you a question. So when I was a young girl, I lived in Florida, right? And there was a really bad hurricane. And I remember being there for this particular hurricane. It wasn't Hurricane Andrew, it was a different hurricane. So my dad and my mom were, he was saying he wasn't going nowhere, that the house was going to be all right, he was going to be all right, and he wasn't going anywhere. And my mom, of course, she's a Taurus too, but she's more of the precautious, preventative, worst case scenario type of energy. So, and the crazy part about it is both of them are Tauruses. So this was very interesting to see the dynamic. Long story short, he was more optimistic about it, and my mom was more pessimistic about it. So from her perspective, me and my kids are not gonna die here with you, so she's gonna go take the kids and go to a shelter. So I remember leaving my dad there us leaving my dad there while we went to the shelter. Now, me personally, I didn't want to go to the shelter, but I was too young to make a decision. I felt like I was going to be fine. Okay. But as a child, you can't really say anything. So from an adult's perspective, when I think back to that situation, every time there's something that's extremely chaotic, whether it's with my mom or whether it's with anybody that I ever come in contact with, they'll always be like, oh, this is about to happen. The world's coming to an end. Woo doo woo doo woo. If it's already happening, you can't change it. And if it's something that I can't change or it's something that I can't control, I don't waste time pondering about it. I have that. I've always had that type of spirit where it's like, okay, well, then I guess we're to die then. It's to a lot of people it's extreme, but from a young child it just didn't register the same way. Like the fear of it didn't register. And so I feel like for many years, and I'm using myself as an example for a reason, this is a testimony, okay? For many years I've dealt with experiences along the way that has the entire objective has been to instill the fear inside of me, to break the spirit, to place a level of worry, apprehension, suspicion, and all these different things inside of me. It has always been the objective to make me identify, make me see that in myself. So for a period of time, event after event, scenario after scenario, it was always like, why won't you let me in? Why won't you let me project that onto you? And the truth of the matter is, on some level, I knew it wasn't real. It wasn't reality. And though I didn't know it then, or I didn't have the words to articulate it then, I genuinely didn't feel like nothing was going to happen to the house. So when we came back to the house after the hurricane had passed, there's my dad. He's sitting on the porch. He's smoking him a cigarette, and he's quite fine. He has all his limbs. The house isn't bothered. Matter of fact, there was shit on the ground and stuff all trampled everywhere, but our house was untouched. And so when I saw that experience of him sitting there without a care in the world, that, whether it was for better or worse, something inside of him didn't feel like something was going to happen. And in that situation, I never forgot it. I never forgot just the peace and the calm that reside inside of him, just from his own. Some people called it foolish. Some people called it ignorant. I felt like it was a knowing. He just knew something and nobody believed him. That's how I looked at it. And over time, I observed, right? And in that childhood, I observed a lot. And my mom used that scenario as an example to pretty much teach us of what not to be. So that is another example of utilizing suggestive commentary during a situation, and then planting those thoughts inside of children that then have to look at you and the other parent from a space of, y'all are not in agreement, y'all do not agree, and you're making it stick out like, this is why I don't agree, because this is not right. So every time there was a situation where they didn't agree, it was always projected into us from a child's perspective that something is wrong with your father for not being worried. Something is wrong with your father for not being afraid. And that has always been the judge constantly having to weigh, right, with whatever is being offered, right? Using that situation to like create fear of what not to do. Don't smoke so you don't be like your father. Don't do this so you don't act like this. Don't say that so you don't become this. That, whatever she didn't like about him, it was used as a way to reinforce what you should strive never to become. And so I'm saying all of that because if you don't have the spirit of discernment inside of you, and you don't have the ability to judge character justly for yourself, then you are easily swayed to become reactive and to absorb the opinions and the unsolicited criticism that becomes destructive throughout your adolescence, throughout your adults, and then you can become like me. I was a very angry child at a certain phase in life where it was, after a while, you become exhausted with being able to see so much injustice and so much stupidity, to the point where you walk away feeling a disdain for the patience for any of it. So I feel like a lot of the lack of patience that Taurus as a collective energy has, it stems from someone at some point being so overly critical in life and constantly having to weigh and measure authority figures and the soundness of their decision making, and seeing the hypocrisy and the hypocrites say one thing, do another. And so all of that is all connected. And so this heat wave that is kind of casted over the collective, it's intended to play out differently for every zodiac sign, but for the house of Taurus, for the house of value and beauty, it's meant to be the way in which you look at yourself, the way in which you talk to yourself. You're going to see a lot of people looking at themselves and nitpicking their eye shape, their teeth, their face, their this, their complexion, and just constantly looking at other people and comparing and contrasting. And then at the same time, if they don't feel like they have enough time, the last thing on their list to do is to see if they still have the ability to influence other people to do what they want. And this is where a lot of it comes from. It comes from a space of feeling like what they couldn't do for themselves, they start wanting to live through you, and then indirectly meddle with the supernatural, your subconscious, your ability to still grow, your ability to still feel youthful, and your ability to plant new seeds and ideas and to feel inspired. So if you have anything of war, right, being conjured up inside of you, where it's like, oh, you're going to let that person talk to you like that? Just pay attention to the suggestive things where people just naturally are around you and they are kind of like antagonizing a situation or being that person. This may be something that's also going to be sprouting up in the education system. Is still the house of teacher, right? A Hierophant is like provoking. There's a lot of provoking energy here. And I do feel like a lot of you that have ascended to a state of self-control, self-mastery, and things like that, you are being asked to transmute that energy as it comes towards you, because even though you can see it, it doesn't have to be your reality. It doesn't have to be your pro-choice. Okay, because I do feel like in a situation, it's like if someone can't get you to change your mind by directly telling you that you shouldn't be doing something, they're going to utilize or try to sabotage you in other ways. And the way in which they want to sabotage you is for you to feel like when you did come out of the closet, when you did express your feelings, when you did put yourself out there, the very first, all you got was negative vibes. All you got was negativity. And they're hoping that that negative experience is enough to make you want to go back to how you used to be, how you used to think, how you used to move about the world. You know what I'm saying? And so when there's a hurricane and your spirit tells you to be still, and despite what your thoughts may be telling you, if your house is going to be spared, if your story is meant to be different, if your spirit is communicating to you that you don't need to go nowhere, you don't need to run. All right, you don't need to run in fear, you don't need to do certain things, you don't need to overwork yourself, you don't need to do those things. Trust it. Okay, because the last thing you want to be doing is trying to pack up and move in fear or run in fear that you are going to be swallowed up by a hurricane that was never intended to take you out to begin with. And so sit on the porch, drink you a mojito, or do something, laugh, sit on your balcony and know this is going to be a good one. This is going to happen. This is going to play out beautifully. This is going to be everything I've ever wanted, right? There's a reason why even though Jesus or Yeshua knew that Judas was going to betray him, there's a reason why he didn't use that time that he had to change Judas's mind. He already knew that that was going to be the plot of his story, the purpose of his story. So to sit there and try to convince Judas the entire book would have been pointless, right? Did he show him any other less love? No. Did he treat him any other differently? No. He just knew this is gonna be the one to do it. I've already been shown. And so what you have to see here is like the archetype or the character of Judas in your life plays a vital role in your ascension, right? So every Judas in your life is like nuggets or sweet spots in the paradigm, or sweet spots in your reality that acts as a portal, right? So through the experience of whatever was meant to break you becomes your breakthrough. The more you are able to see how those rips or those tears are always for you and not happening to you, you transcend time and space. All right. There was also something about knowing your weaknesses. What are you willing to do to you have self-sacrificing tendencies, Taurus. It just is what it is, right? Christ consciousness, collective consciousness, angels, you have a self-sacrificing type of spirit, okay? And you have free will as an original angel. You have free will to decide, if you will self-sacrifice yourself for another person. Now, I do feel like the divine will never tell you what is right or wrong. You can stay or you can go to the shelter. Either way, whether you go to the shelter or you stay, the consequences will always remain the same, right? So if you stay, the consequence is going to be uncomfortable. If you go, the consequences is going to be uncomfortable. It's never a right time to do anything that you feel divinely guided to do. Never. It never will be. All right. Will it be painful? Both routes are always going to look like it is painful. But if it's the one that makes you feel free, if it's the one that makes you feel like you can forgive, that you can let go, that you can release, then that's the path of least resistance. That's the one you always want to choose. Like I said, it took some time to really unlock this message, because I feel like deep down inside, there's a lot that your subconscious realm is holding on to, or keeping to yourself. And so only you can crack the codes of you. But what I can tell you is how the energy is interacting with your energy, and what the intention that's being projected towards you intends to do. There you have all the choices laid in front of you, and then you get to make your play. All right, but don't resort to playing checkers when you play chess. Just those two things don't really work well together. Trying to skip and jump and stuff, nah, just one. It's one move at a time. There's something about taking a financial loss, or not having, you wish family was supportive, or you wish you could get out of a situation. There's a lot going on. Like I said, the divine has to talk to you in a very particular type of way, because you're in the thick of it. Whoever you are, however this plays out, you're in the thick of it. And at the end of the day, I do feel like every time you wake up and you start to save some, get a little ahead, this challenge makes its way to you. Especially when something gets to the point of investing, intimacy. Someone really struggles with being open with intimacy. Okay. It feels like a masculine energy. That happens. Okay. There's something about a fear of intimate union. It's easy to keep casual relationships, or just stick to the people that and things like that. But when things start to look like someone you're having more and more conversations with, or you're having more intimate conversation, all those things, it could be an opportunity, but it can also be a missed opportunity. You know what I'm being divinely guided to. Someone here has a gift. Confirmations. If you've ever felt like you have this gift of like interdimensional traveling, kind of like Americus. I think it was Americus. If y'all ever saw Doctor Strange, he was trying to protect that girl. I feel like you have the gift like that girl that can pretty much jump timelines. Okay, forwards, backwards. Yeah, the multiverse type of energy. your future self, it has that ability. Like you may not be aware of it now, but I feel like when you greatly want to go somewhere or do something, you can emotionally go there in real time. And like, this is a gift that not many people possess. And I feel like your future self knows how to go back and change things to go the way that they want it to go. And so I feel like it's happening again. It's happening again. Someone in this dynamic, whether this is you, a third party, I don't know, but someone is willing to do just about anything to keep someone brainwashed, to keep an original angel from ascending. If they have to do this a second, a third time, they're willing to hit the factory reset button, and it's like we both will exit and we both will go to another timeline. It's like somebody would rather, catch someone next lifetime than to continue playing out the one that they don't ever want to experience. The idea, right? And this may just be someone's subconscious projections or thoughts, which is also a fear trigger, right? If a person makes you fearful of what they're capable of, you'll never do anything. You see how those things kind of play out. But I feel like whoever this person is trying to cast these subconscious subliminal illusions and trying to fear monger by way of intently focusing on you, or getting readings done on you, and having, like, this person is willing to create more karmic debt for themselves. And they'll continue. This is the type of energy that will kind of offer up their own offspring just to get whatever it is that they want. That's how bad they want it. They don't really have, even if it means they have to live a life of bad luck, they will gladly do it. If it means that you too will not be able to move or progress without them. That's what I'm seeing here. So someone has paid someone a lot of money to either fix someone to behave right or conduct themselves perfectly or the way that they want, or they have a backup plan. And it seems like someone that has the ability to suggest subconsciously, subconscious suggestions, which means that person may be good at, influencing. You know how like Ursula suggested to Ariel, but was like not very forward. She really rode the gray area. So I do feel like somebody is willing to ride the gray area in order to get what it is that they want, or to stop someone from pursuing something that they want. I told you. And for some of you, a lot of you, these are karmic connections. I feel like the South Node is really not having it. South Node is not having it. So all my North Node people that have been ascending, jumping paradigms, breaking ancestral patterns. Oh, okay. Clarify the devil for me, please, Spirit. This could be somebody's bloodline or their family. Like, you could have been born into a bloodline or a family that had, like this possessive tie connected to it that is, I've picked up on this energy before, where it's like if you can acquire a divine child, because it's giving me Mr. Facilier energy, you know? It's like if you can acquire a divine child or someone of this descent, you can wipe your slate clean, you can get another redo or something like that. And so someone is willing to pretty much pluck a flower and consume it for themselves and harvest it for themselves and sacrifice it for themselves just to guarantee that they're able to take you with them. Clarify this devil, please, Spirit. Telling you the high priest is in reverse. Someone knows with the high priest is in reverse, they're doing something very malicious. The lovers. We have Gemini, we have Pisces, Scorpio. So this is definitely telling me mind and emotions. So during this wave or this intention that's being sent out radioactively, dun, 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 dun. Baby, you know that I miss you. I wanna be with you. Yeah, this is like focusing on I feel like they're trying to tamper with your inner child, but your inner child is distracted. And so it's difficult for them to affect you because your inner child is distracted. Clarify this inner child. The Wheel of Fortune. Yes. Okay, so the intention isn't working because your inner child is focused. And that's what's making you strong. All right. So they may be thinking that it's something external to you, but really it's your relationship with your inner child. It's your relationship with yourself. Because when they're able to affect that level of development inside of you that's easily triggered, then they hold the power over you. But when you have peace of mind and you have your inner child in balance and your inner child is not running amok and being a shadow out here, then it wields no power over you. And so this energy doesn't like rejection. And since it has to let you go because you're not harboring any emotions, it's like, well, I have to release you because you're not mad anymore. So that wound doesn't work anymore. But what I can do is send you off with some type of destructive criticism or self-criticism. So as you go about your day, you can ponder on that. So I do feel like someone's trying to give you some destructive criticism to try to get you to think less of yourself. They're going to wait to do that. They want you to second guess if you should do something, if you should get back out there. It's something about wanting you to be like, oh, worried. So when someone says something like, oh, watch out, I'll hate for this to happen to you or something like that, that is destructive criticism or destructive suggestion, because they feel like they're planting it deep in your subconscious realm. And the more you say, well, why would they say that? The more you ask the question, why would they say that? You manifest it. So that's the kind of, and so you don't walk away. Making you worry that something bad will happen also is a way to get you not to go somewhere, because you become superstitious. So someone's spreading superstition, and it's not just someone. I feel like it's being casted on a mass scale. There is someone that is a savior, a superhero, a reincarnation of a divine being is among us. And I know I say this all the time. I feel like the girl off Ninja Turtles that be talking about these heroes that nobody be talking about. And these heroes are out here doing God's work. That's just how I feel. But they got little extra superpowers and extra gifts. And so it's like common sense to somebody like me would be like, ain't no way that this could happen without this happening, and you're putting two and two together, and then these superheroes are kind of just sitting back like, so they never gonna, they just gonna let me be out here looking crazy then. That's how I feel. I feel like they ain't never gonna tell me that I'm seeing what I'm actually seeing, what I'm seeing. They be average people by day, but by night they are out here whooping ass in the spiritual realm, in the supernatural. Man, then everybody gonna be in the comments saying, what you talking about? I'm telling you that there are superheroes out here. Okay. And you have to believe it. You just have to know that they're there. Because if you just believe that God never left us. That's how I feel. Okay. All right. That's how I feel. Ace of Wands in reverse. There's nothing that you have to do. You don't have to run. You don't have to hide. You don't have to explain yourself. I feel like the Tower is just, this too shall pass. Okay. Archangel Michael out here with the swiftness. And see, do you know what I always thought was interesting about Archangel Michael, right? Just the story, right? Go along with me. Pretty much, and this has happened more than one time or whatever. I always thought it was interesting the way that they depict how, you know, in like the battle between Archangel Michael and the devil, I think, transforms himself or shapeshifts himself into some type of monster, whatever, beast. And Archangel Michael just came as he was. So that's kind of like how I'm seeing here. These guides, these angels that are here, they are coming as they are. They are not, you know, it's not in the form of the way the Marvels or the great visuals are being depicted, but they are still just appearing in places and doing things, and they're in and they're out, and they're traveling. And so when you feel triggered or you feel like you need to do something about something, remember that you have spiritual assistance at all times. Okay? At all times. You've always had it. The only thing that the enemy could do is make you not believe that it is real. And that is why, you know, breaking your spirit and breaking your dreams and destroying your dreams has always been the making you split yourself from that wish, that knowing has always been the objective. So at any given time, you can choose to take your power back. And that's why we have the Merkaba. All right. This Merkaba is depicting 33, the master builder. You rebuild yourself. And so even if you're in foreign lands or you've traveled far, you feel tired, remember you have spiritual assistance no matter where you are. Even if you feel like you're far away from the things that bring you comfort, the rod and that staff that comforts you is inside of you. The confidence is what you draw from. The spirits are walking with you at all times. So it's like you are a moving altar. You're mastering how to be a moving altar. Especially when you feel restricted, like you can't move how you want to move, you can't travel how you want to travel, do what you want to do. I promise you, your spiritual team is going to make a way for you. Bibbity bobbity boop. That's what I'm seeing here. I hope this is recording. If this ain't recording, it just wasn't meant to be. But if it's recording, then you definitely will see it, and you probably will hear me talking crap. You see, this is all happening on purpose. See that the idea that it wasn't recording was trying to trigger me, but I laughed it off because it's not that serious. It's not that deep. Let's get your closing message. What they thought. All right, let's see. If you made it this far, welcome to our love nest. If you are returning, welcome back, you guys. Shout out to all y'all in the comment sections. I did see the future self questions, and so I will be posting on the community tab a couple of the comments that I saw down below. I'm going to be posting what you asked as a poll, and then we're going to pick which one we're going to go with based off of whoever votes on the poll. So the highest vote will be my next pick a pile live stream. So be on the lookout for that. I was going to put a date of when the live will be, but I feel like Spirit doesn't want me putting dates on stuff anymore. And so we just going to go with it. Okay. But that's going to be the next live stream. It's a pick a pile. A question that you want to ask your future self. We have freedom. Okay. Vry. I like to see it. Let's get the deck. Bottom of the deck. Stability. Don't worry about a thing. That's what I heard as soon as I saw the stability. Because every little thing is gonna be alright. I woke up this morning. 3 little birds about my doorstep. That's crazy. I just thought about something, but I don't think I meant to say it. So moving on, we have 20. All right, so 20 says, Vry allows you to merge with the innocence that surrounds you. Every new encounter is an experience that brings the potential to restore the unshakable faith you held as a child. I'm done. The unshakable faith you held as a child, when freedom was never an afterthought. Vry dances freely under a disco ball on the dance floor, uninhibited because she believes in the spirit of things happening for their highest good. I cannot. Oh my God. All right, here is the freedom to trust yourself before someone makes you doubt yourself. The past cannot be changed, so she dances in the present while creating her future with a smile on her face. The dog dances beside her as a symbol of protection. Vry holds a cannabis leaf in one hand, which represents her open heart and innocence. From her other hand, a streaming pillar of light emerges like a wand. This card arrives when the veil begins to lift and your biocomputer begins to deprogram with the cannabis plant spirit's guidance. If you receive rye in a reading, ask yourself, what's the best thing that can happen today? How does it get any better than this? Am I afraid to ask for what I want because of the risk of rejection or denial? Release fear and believe your higher self. The higher plant spirit is guiding you to not fail. Wow. Y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all picked up just how synchronistic everything that was stated in this reading correlates with this ride card. And I didn't pull this card out to the very end. To the very end. How does everything in this message resonate with everything that came out in those cards? That is no coincidence. That's God, okay? I'm sending you lots of love, wisdom, and guidance on your journey. Like always, remember to stay nested in love. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.